now joined by Hanna Tetteh, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of Ghana. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
My first question would be, in which way would you consider Ghana to be proudly small?
Well, if you were to look at it in terms of our population, 25 million, you'd say that we're a medium-sized country. But when you're in a continent as vast and as large as Africa, where you have 54 countries, where you also are in a region where there's a very, very large country like Nigeria, and where most of your neighbors have similar characteristics to yourself, and where you still are in a position where you don't have a very large economy because you still have to deal with the challenges of underdevelopment and with poverty, then in that case you don't describe yourself, as far as I'm concerned, as a big country at all, working towards being a medium-sized country, but also at the same time working towards becoming a middle-income economy. So in that context, we still see ourselves as not quite having arrived, so we're a small country.
Which would you consider the next small steps in the development of Ghana, but also in the development of the African continent?
In the development of Ghana, we have to transform ourselves from being a developing country, a lower middle income country, to a middle income country properly so called. And by that, what I'm talking about is not just in terms of GDP statistics, but also in providing the opportunities, the social infrastructure as well as the economic infrastructure for every citizen of Ghana, for people living within our country, to be able to achieve their goals and aspirations, to be able to send their kids to school, to be able to get adequate health care, for these things not to be luxuries, for these things to be matters of course, to be able to bring their new innovative ideas to market, to set up companies and businesses, and to be able to think of themselves not just as players within the domestic space of Ghana, but see themselves as people who can also operate outside of our national space, in our regional continental space, and hopefully in the rest of the world as well.
To achieve this development, do you think it will be more important to have small steps or big steps?
You work towards big goals, but achieving those big goals takes small steps. And not only does it take small steps, but it also takes focusing on making sure that you get it right as you are moving along. And not always assuming certain things as a given. Currently, we have a huge challenge at the moment with access to energy. And that's because for the first 40 years of our life, we had made an investment that was in excess of our energy demand. And so for a very long time, we became complacent about this whole idea of investing additionally into energy infrastructure. Is caught up with us now, and we're not able to meet our demand. Now, hindsight is always 20/20 vision, so you would say that we could have done it differently, but it just goes to show that you've got to keep your eyes on the ball in every sector and make sure that however little you are able to do with the revenues that you can generate, with the resources that you have, you continue to make those critical investments or invite investment into your country to be able to make the difference. Otherwise, as I said, it catches up with you. And if you're aspirational, you want to move forward, you want to be able to achieve big things, you can't afford to ignore the small steps.
Thank you very much for your time and enjoy your stay at the 45th Gallen Symposium. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me. You're welcome.